So tell us a little bit about your federal appointments.
Uh, the I've got a couple of letters I'll bring to you when eventually when you get into this. That would be the sheriff's office stuff. Uh, there was a guy by the name of Von Robb who was the head of the I guess the Washington Bureau. Uh, what did they call that? The drug uh, enforcement. Uh,
DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency.
yeah, yeah.
DEA.
And we were doing a lot of stuff on drug enforcement. Uh, I got a letter from a governor. I forgot who it was now, and he said, uh, "I want you to meet this man, and he's going to appoint you to a three-man commission. There'll be three people out of Oklahoma, and I will give you a letter from the U.S. Bureau of Narcotics and so forth. And we want to start setting up programs, how we're going to reward people, how we're going to do things." There was myself, Oklahoma, the bureau head by the name of Heggie, and Frank Thurman from Oklahoma. And then, but we were also on another board. We go back and forth to Houston, where they were set up down there, and some training and some stuff going on down there, and some sign-offs on different projects that were, and we had to approve those. A lot of paperwork to go through, but I'll bring that letter to you in detail. There's so many things that going on with that. It's not that I have a memory problem. It's some of the things were names and specific stuff and what you want you to do, and the outcome of this and so forth and etc. We had everything down there from submarines to above water crafts of everything that would float. And we went in one time. We could go about any place we wanted to where they kept the money they confiscated. And it was like walking into a farmer's barn where he had his hay baled. Hay baled. There was that much that I didn't forget. And he said, "We have to hold this a certain amount of time." And he said a certain amount ought to be burned. And but actually, what they do, well, this is well, I'm supposed to say this or not, but it's all over with anyway. They replace that with new paper money, and they if they're going to burn it, it's not out there anymore, whatever. So, but we use the money deal a lot for drug enforcement too. Our dogs, we had drug dogs and sniffed the money, and we knew where the money come from, and back from a little dealer to a big dealer to where did you get this across the border or wherever. And but we have so much. Those articles I kept, pictures and publicity. But the governor said, "I want everything from the church socials where they do bingo with naked women to liquor to drugs, anything that's out there. The people are going to vote on this, and we want them to know why we're doing it and how we're doing it, and that we're going to do it." And away we went.
So you've seen a lot of change down through the years of living in Claremore.
Since I left down there,
Yeah. What do you miss the most about the good old days in Claremore?
the association with the employees, with the drug enforcement activity. We got letters from Washington, from all over the place, about how well we'd trained our people. I had 5 people. The Bureau of Narcotics in Oklahoma City took away from me. Mickey Perry, Roy Dowden, Jerry Harris, Grady Lowry. Who was the other one doing? Either 5 or 6, I forgot. And but they helped us train, which they wouldn't do for some of the other departments, the ones that we had to replace. It just worked like clockwork. And well, by that time, the guy from Collinsville was head of the bureau, was an old friend of mine that I'd worked with, and before he was a Tulsa County guy, and had worked with Thurman and all the way back to Dave Faulkner and those people, you know. And it was, I think that was, when I get to talking about those memories, or just groups sitting around, you know, in both sessions, who were we with, or do you remember this deal or that deal, and what almost happened, and yeah, and so forth. That's it. I think that's what my memory is, the activity, the actual activity. Preparing for this stuff is out of the book, you know, it's just, everybody knows it, but you got to make a little speech before you send 15 or 20 guys out there, and what their positions are going to be and all that they know automatically, because we've got pictures of the dwelling. Yeah, we flew over. Yeah, we leased an airplane with our drug money. I had a guy named Mel Sires that was retired from the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics that Heggie sent to us, and we put into work, paid him with drug money. And we couldn't get anything out of the county commissioners, so I don't think they still can. They're still operating with, you know, outside money. And that's why they work so hard on drugs. And, but I think Claremore is in awful good position. Stan Brown is a unique person. I work with Stan a lot, and he's got good employees, got good, if he gets one that he sees is not going to work out, he don't hesitate to start working with him. You're going to change, or we're going to change you. But they do everything in a very diplomatic way. And he's got the situation pretty well solved. The money that he needs is there, but he doesn't waste anything. I spent a lot of time with Stan, and particularly when we started this history on Claremore law enforcement, and I've got a lot of material that I can provide you, and a lot of stories that were not believable, but when you read it, you know, it's some of the shootouts we had here in town. And way back there, I told Lee Fetty, are y'all running out of time?
Not yet.
We had a city manager, the first one we had, his name was Lee Fetty. Real good guy, but he was very strict. Police department was really his baby, you know, and so he would come over and look at the reports, and I told him, I said, Lee, we'll send these over if you want to. We good, that'll help me. But he said, I like to visit with everybody. He said, well, but if anything comes up I need to know about or can help you with, let me know. He was that kind of a guy. And I said, Paul, Paul Hamilton was a different kind of guy. We started after a bootlegger, and if he didn't stop within a mile, that pop was going to go. And we had a lot of those, them shooting back at us and we shooting back at them. A lot of wrecks. I had one rollover with Paul, and then he had several by himself. We were chasing the car we were alerted on, and Oklahoma City Police Department sent us a teletype. said there was two men in a certain model Chrysler sedan that outrun a trooper and outrun three of their city cars, and he's on the old highway headed for Claremore, or headed for eastern Oklahoma, and there's something they think that they're on trying to get to Miami. I thought, well, they'll come through here. We sat up down there for about 30 minutes. Paul said, I think let's change positions here. We were sitting there by the old PD. So we drove down about where the gun museum is now. I think there's a service station or something there then. And we're just sitting there, and here come this car. I said, that may not be him, but he's speeding away we went. And we got right up on him, and this arm went out like that, and I was on that side, and I said, whoa, something's gonna happen here. I think I disconnected somebody. So I pulled my gun out, and there was it sounded like a shot. But anyway, I said, Paul, let's get out of town before we return. So we got out there about the airport, and the guy put his arm out again, so I went for a tire. And we fired several shots. Paul started shooting his left hand out the window, and they were going like that. We got up toward Foyle, and I said, we're going to have to get the shotgun out. We're going to have to stop them. They're going to kill somebody. And about that time, they went off the road. I guess they thought they were, but it was a railroad track at Foyle where you went over on a blacktop and went into the school. Some bunch of kids were killed there by train years later. And he went that way and went out through there and got to tumbling around, and he finally come to a stop, and we were right up behind him. And I said, Paul, we've got a problem. We shot that car, all the heck, and Lee Heck, and Paul, and that's one of the things that the city manager is bad about. We called Walt Marlin, he towed the car in, and we took the guys in. One was 14, the other was 13. Whoa. And, but next morning, I said, we're going to be in trouble. Lee's going to go down and look at that car. And sure enough, he did. Come back, and we stopped at the PD, and he said, boys, that was a good arrest you made last night. Said, everything looks really good. He said, they're going to pick them up and take them back to Oklahoma City, if that's all right with you guys. The DA thinks they're juveniles, and, you know. And so I looked at Paul, and he looked at me. We went down and looked at the car. There wasn't a bullet hole in it anywhere. Well, no bullets. I said, well, we need to go with the range. I said, Walt Marlin, I said, you know, when we were going down, I said, well, Walt surely looked it over. Let's talk to Walt. Maybe he'll keep quiet about it. We never heard anything from Walt because there wasn't any bullet hole. The car was a little, the fender was mashed in on something that hit a little deal near the railroad track, and for something, that was it. But that was way back in the PD days.